live to the Breslin Center in East Lansing. It's the boys state high school basketball championships. We started all off in Class D as the Thunderbolts from Mayo, with just about half the town here undefeated, will tangle with Detroit Catholic League powerhouse Southgate Aquinas again for the Class D championship. Good morning, everybody. I'm Fred McLeod along with Tim McCormick. You know, a lot of great players in our state have gone on to the NBA but have never reached the state championship game in any class, including my partner with Clarkson back in 1980, so I'm sure you're envious of these young men.
Fred, this is a game for a lifetime. We got beaten in the semis by 1 point by Highland Park. I'd love to go back and replay that one.
All right, I guess if you could say there's a favorite, it would probably be Aquinas because of the level of their competition. They only played one Class D team all year. They are led by these two guys, Dan Horvath and Justin Gorman.
You're right, Fred. And this dynamic duo averages over 20 points per game. They're best friends off the court. On the court, a dangerous and balanced attack. Dan Horvath is an inside presence. He's also capable of stepping away from the basket. 6'6", super athlete. His wingmate, Justin Gorman's game is perimeter shooting. He has great range. And his job today, Fred, is to spread out the defense.
Don't sell the Bolts short. They won the Class D championship back in '89. They're looking to do it again. They are undefeated, as we mentioned, and mainly because of their man in the middle. Although it's a small team, Greg Sidebottom is where their offense and defense starts.
Two-time All-Stater, Sidebottom has a very disciplined attack. Now, they're undefeated this year. They're small and feisty, mainly because of Sidebottom. He's a terrific shooter, very intelligent, and at 6'3", he's their biggest player. It's his responsibility to do a great job on the glass.
Sidebottom knows all about pressure. He was the quarterback on their state championship team that almost won it in football. Their coach loves his versatility.
Greg comes to play, we're going to be in the game. Greg is a versatile inside-outside player, a tremendous sleeper, a good student, which is carried over into athletics, and he makes the other kids on the team play well too.
John Bilich was the coach of the '89 team that won it all, a bigger ball club, but he says, look out for my club this year. They can shoot the three. Well, John Keating has a guest who knows all about the pressure of playing in this title game. Right, John?
Absolutely. Fred Marshall Thomas, the head coach at Saginaw High School for 16 years, has been a participant in the state final game twice, has won one of these things once. Already you can feel the emotion and the excitement here.
Very much. It's very exciting. This is a dream come true for all of the high school players.
Mayo comes in from your neck of the woods. Talk about the team play that has gotten them to this point.
Mayo has a true team concept, and they need to have that. All of you players out there who want to be successful, watch Mayo play some basketball.
One of the keys for Aquinas will be their distributor, Rance Thomas. Is he going to be a big key to this game in your estimation?
I think he may be the key. He's not the big scorer, but I think he's an extension of the coach on the floor in terms of what the coach wants to get done.
All right, Marshall, we'll look forward to spending the afternoon with you. Marshall Thomas, the head coach at Saginaw. Now let's go back to Fred McLeod.
All right, John, it doesn't get any better than Michigan March Madness. 4 basketball games exclusively here on Fox Sports Detroit. We'll be back with the starting lineups of the Class D battle right after this time. Welcome back to the Breslin Center. A long day of basketball, and everybody looking forward to this. Let's get the introductions now of the starting lineups as Eric Oforseth will introduce both our combatants in our Class D championship game.
At forward, 6'1", senior number 21, Pat Stone. For Aquinas at forward, 6'6", senior number 10, Justin Gorman. The other forward for the Thunderbolts, 6' senior, 41, Chad Fox. For the Raiders at forward, 6'6", senior, 43, Dan Horvath. At center for Mayo, 6'3", senior, 44, Greg Sidebottom. For Aquinas at center, 6'3", senior, 54, Brian Fair. At guard for the Thunderbolts, 6'1", sophomore, 25, Garrett Daw. For the Raiders at guard, 6' senior, 22, Terrence Springer. And at guard for Mayo, 6' junior, 55, Brian Kahn. For Southgate, Aquinas at guard, 5'10", senior, 42, Rance Thomas. Head coach of the Thunderbolts, John Bilick. Head coach, the Raiders, Ernie Price. Officials for today's game, Francis
So John
LaHillier,
Bilick trying for a second championship ring. I asked him if perhaps if he wins it, he might be able to run for mayor in the town of Mayo of 1800. He said, well, you know what? I guess we'd have to create the office first. Ernie Price has been there too in terms of winning a championship. He did it in '93 with John Garavaglia and company. He too wants a second title ring. So everybody getting a little bit greedy here on the campus of MSU. This should be a fun basketball game because I'm sure, Tim, is going to be determined in part by tempo. Can Mayo, with its full court pressing, frustrate Aquinas a little bit and get them out of their game?
And Mayo wants to be able to control the throttle in this game. They want to use their pressure. They want to launch the threes. And here's some of the rule differences that are very important. Number one, those 3 full and 2 20-second timeouts. You have them over the course of the game, so there's no worry about using them up in the first half. Also, the ball must touch the rim and the free throws. And last, the clock does not stop late in the game. Obviously, no shot clock.
Both teams had certainly a bumpy road to get here. As you see, Aquinas on the top side of the bracket. They defeated Adrian Lenawee Christian by 22 to get to the title game. Meanwhile, Mayo had to pass those ball clubs. In fact, in the regional, Mayo was down 21 points to Bel Air and had to come back to win it. A lot of folks were worried they wouldn't even come close to East Lansing. We are underway.
2-3 zone by Mayo. They're going to stay in this all game long.
Aquinas lives off their 2 guys inside, as we talked about in the open. For a lot of inside-outside work. You see some of the Mayo pressure there. That's Thomas, the left-hander, on the dribble drive, squirts out. Rebound for the Thunderbolts.
One thing you're going to notice out of Mayo is that they gain rebound. They're very small. Sidebottom's the biggest player at 6'3".
Ryan Kahn got that rebound. He's an outstanding wide receiver in football. Sidebottom, his quarterback, gave it up. Kahn will fire the 3. Tried to follow up his own miss. Good hustle. Inside, good look by Kahn. The shot is blocked up. Ryan Fair got it. Here come the Raiders. Thomas, 15-foot pop. He's taken the first 2 shots. Fair got the offensive board. That's Justin Gorman.
Had a chance to talk to Justin Gorman before this game, and he said, if I make early threes, look out because it makes everybody else a lot better themselves.
Gorman, their second leading scorer. Kahn misfires, rebound Fair.
This is the kind of game that Ernie Price wants. He knows that his big team has a chance to dominate the boards. Look at the players here. Aquinas goes 6'6", 6'3". The biggest player for Mayo is Sidebottom at 6'3". Plus, they bring 6'8" off the bench.
Gorman again for 3 more. He's feeling it. He's got the first 6 points.
Go man-to-man for Aquinas.
Sidebottom spinning into triple trouble. Fights it up and down. He'll shoot one. So Sidebottom with a huge hoop. You may say, why is it huge? A couple of minutes in the ball game, but they've got to be careful with early scoring to make sure they don't get in too big of a hole.
The reason this play is so effective is Mayo does an outstanding job of spreading the court, and that gives Sidebottom a great deal of room to maneuver. And Fred, I agree wholeheartedly that was an important basket because before the game, Coach Bilic made the comment that if they go down 8-0 or 6-2, that he doesn't think they have the ability to come back, so they have to keep it close the first 5 minutes of this game.
Jason Heiser checks in for the Bolts. Heiser's one of those guys who will run through a brick wall for you. Almost the kamikaze kid, if you will.
But they're really extending the defense. You notice that Jason Heiser is not letting Justin Gorman. This is a box-and-one defense on him.
And Springer with it. He elects to hoist and hits. How about that? Aquinas has hit 3 field goals, all outside the arc. They lead 9-3.
Fred, I don't know what the state record for threes taken in a game is, but it's going to be in jeopardy before this one's over with.
Certainly at this pace. Back the other way. Rebound. Good hustle that time by Springer. But Aquinas has to give it up. All out of bounds.
So I'm watching Mayo early. If I had to come up with a comparison, they play a lot like a Rick Pitino coach team. Very aggressive, a lot of threes, a lot of full court pressure.
He gave it up to Sidebottom. Good look back inside, but excellent hustle that time by Gorman to knock it away.
Fred, you're going to see a lot of Sidebottom and Kahn working today. They played along with Pat Stone. A lot of Gus Macker tournaments, those three, so they've got a lot of experience.
Helps in chemistry. Kahn misfired and knocked it out of bounds. It's all Southgate basketball. They lead by 6. We play just about 3 minutes in the boys Class D state championship.
Rance Thomas, the catalyst at point guard. There again, you see they're going to have a very soft zone defense, and they want to keep Gorman away from the basket.
And a travel, no question about it, as Thomas shuffled the shoes. Second turnover for Aquinas. Another sub, Pat Stone checks in. And Heiser sits down. Mayo's MO is to get 8, 9, 10 guys in there a la Pitino. Keep bodies fresh so he can apply this pressure.
Little full court, man-to-man pressure. The key thing is here, they want to be able to take Mayo out of their normal offensive set.
Wow, a big screen at half court was set by Stone. He was bowled over, though, by Horvath. And a foul on the Aquinas big man.
Now, Brian Fair has got to get out there. He's going to get somebody killed, namely his teammate, if he's not calling for the screen.
Well, that's Horvath's second foul, so that's of immediate concern for Ernie Price. Thus, he will have to sub and get his big guy off the floor, I would think. Instead, it is Fair who comes off, and Horvath stays on with 2 fouls. I'm sure Ernie figures that Dan's pretty good at keeping his hands in his pocket in these situations. 4.5 to play in the opening quarter. Bounce feed inside. Here it goes. 9-5. Now depends on crisp passing, and you saw it there. Sidebottom a little bit too aggressive defensively, rather, especially that far out on the floor. And he picks up the foul.
It's Greg Sidebottom. Matchup to watch right now is 21, Pat Stone from Mayo. He's got a tremendous job in trying to keep Justin Gorman. All he has to do is stay with him and keep a hand in his face.
Rance Thomas running the offense. It's Phil Smith, their 6th man off the bench. Inside penetration, dribble out of bounds off his foot is Horvath. He thought he had the clear lane and just inadvertently kicked it out. Aquinas again with full court pressure. Does this surprise you a little bit, Tim?
In a way, because the depth factor is definitely in Mayo's favor, and Mayo wants to play up and down, so Aquinas is saying, we're going to beat you at your own game.
How about Sidebottom? It's 6-3, handling the ball, bringing it up the floor against the press. The long launch from Kahn, way short. Inside, though, followed in neatly by Stone. So Pat Stone with a gift bucket for the Thunderbolts, and they crawl within 2.
The majority of the points for Mayo have been the benefactor of the spread-out defense. They've had penetration lanes, and they've also had a chance to get to the offensive glass.
Sidebottom with pressure, although he hit the ball on the sidelines, so it will be Aquinas basketball. Our first time out. 3:37 to go in the first quarter. The Raiders lead it by only 2.
They're playing a box-in-1, and the matchup to watch is right here on this part of your screen. They're not even worried about Pat Stone's not helping at all. He's staying right with Gorman. Now the defense in a box set is so worried about getting in and protecting the paint. They're going to live with that jump shot right there. Terrence Springer's a good shooter, but if he's going to beat this defense, Mayo's going to have to live with it.
Well, John Mileage, you mentioned before about Rick Pitino, the style similar. Mileage says of all the coaches in college basketball, he's the one I respect the most. And of course, now Pitino with the Celtics, but he has sort of patterned that full court pressing style off those Kentucky teams.
I don't think they would mind a track meet kind of game. They have good athletes, and they know that the depth factor is not going to be an issue.
Aquinas putting it at play. They led 9-2 early. Inside Springer for 2. He has a twin brother on the ball club, but it's Terrence who gets most of the playing time in that family. He's got 5. 11-7. Again, contact at center floor as Kahn went down, and the foul is assessed to Phil Smith.
Yeah, Ernie Price is furious. He's furious at the officials because they made the call, but he's even angrier at his big guys because they're not out there calling the screens. And I know during the last timeout that they were yelling and screaming, we've got to call screens or you're going to get your guards hurt. That's just setting them out there for an injury.
Ryan Kahn was definitely set, as you can see. It was a football wide out. He got a lot more contact than that. Push up! They're set. Coach Bilich thought they were a little bit too physical on the inbounds. Pass barely over the outstretched hands of Smith.
Little 1-2-2 matchup zone by Aquinas.
Kahn alley-oops inside. Oh, the shot is missed. Garrett Daw should have had that one. He'll be the first to tell you that a loose ball foul, trying to get it back.
Mayo doesn't have a chance to play against a lot of big guys. Dan Horvath is 6'6", 205. Now, in the back of his mind, you've got to believe that Garrett Daw is thinking, uh-oh, where's the big guy at?
Daw, who scored earlier in a layup. I'd like to have that one back. His team down 4. That's Gorman.
A lot of respect for Gorman.
Ball knocked out of bounds by, again, Mayo hustle, but there's also a foul attached to it.
Fred, when you look at the Southgate attack, they have very unselfish guards, and they want to get a lot of shots today for Justin Gorman and Dan Horvath. Both those guys, 20 points per game. Everybody else knows their roles.
Foul was on Jason Heiser. Pass intended inside. Did find his mark finally to Horvath, who gets his first 2. So Horvath, who averages 22 points a game, gets on the score sheet. 13-7 Aquinas by 6. Again, that midcourt screen. Smith fought through it that time. Daw to Kahn. He's got great range, but he missed it. Rebound Sidebottom. Long bomb from the corner, Chad Fox. Rebound Sidebottom. Muscles inside. Missed it. Rebound to Aquinas. Horvath had to out-muscle the blue shirts for that one. Inside 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. It's been physical now.
Fred, you get the sense that because Mayo, they really have to rely on three-pointers. This is a tough setting. Big arena, depth perception, plus big game. You don't want to rely on threes.
There's Horvath. Misfires. The first Aquinas miss outside the arc after the early 3. But the Thunderbolts are hanging in here early. Kahn forced it. Almost got it to fall. And then somehow almost got the rebound. He stepped out of bounds. That was quicker than Vinnie Johnson following up that miss.
Vinny always seemed to like to work hard to get that ball. It's almost like if I get the loose ball, I get a shot out of it.
But it is a lost art, don't you think?
Yeah, and one thing that Coach Bilich has said that his team works on more than anything else is going to the offensive boards. They take a lot of threes, and typically if a long shot is missed, it's going to be a long rebound. That's their big advantage on the glass.
We saw Pat Stone return to the lineup for Mayo. Horvath called for it, didn't get it. Still open in the corner. Other side. The bomb from Gorman. Rebound to the Thunderbolts of Mayo. They trail 13-7 inside a minute to go in the opening quarter.
Got to believe that they'd be content going for one last shot, give their big guys a chance to rest.
Ball went off Horvath, I believe. Should be Mayo basketball, it is. Seconds to go here in the opening quarter.
Aquinas looks like they're man-to-man out of the ball, out of bounds.
Kahn with it. It's Smith in his shirt. Mayo's missed his last 5 shots. Sidebottom tries to amend that. 0 for 6 in this little flurry. And then a loose ball foul on Stone trying to get the rebound. You can see Aquinas, well coached, they really box out.
It's absolutely, that's a fundamental skill they work a lot in practice on. There's Dennis Kahn on the right next to Coach Biles. 1989, he was on the state championship Mayo team, and all the players on the Mayo team actually drove down as little kids, watched him play, and dreamed about someday having a chance to put a ring on their own finger. His cousin Brian, one of the stars, number 55, 6-foot junior, says that his cousin yells at him a lot, but he only wants to try to make him a little bit better.
Especially for those summertime battles out in the family driveway. Ryan Carter has checked in for Aquinas. 6'8" string bean. He's a sophomore.
Fred, the thing that stands out first quarter, these are both well-coached teams. The coach for Mayo, Bilich, what he said is that he wanted to keep them under 10 points in the first quarter, so they haven't achieved that goal.
Working for the final shot of the quarter. Thomas with a launch. Bricked it. Rebound. Aquinas. Smith got it to beat the hole. Phil Smith puts the exclamation point to the first quarter anyway. Getting his first hoop. And the Raiders of Aquinas with the first lead after the first break of 8 minutes. 15-7. Aquinas, despite some cold shooting at the end of the quarter, leads it by 8 after 1. Don't forget, Red Wings on Fox Sports Detroit tomorrow night, live as the Red Wings take on the Olympic hero Dominik Hasek and the Buffalo Sabres. Note the pregame time, 6:30 with John Keating, and the call with Ken Daniels and Mickey Redmond at 7. All the crowd, actually a pretty darn good one for still 10:30 in the morning here on the campus of MSU.
I've got a feeling that the drugstore in downtown Mayo is probably closed because there's nobody to buy stuff and there's nobody there to run the store.
Field goal numbers. As you saw, Mayo off to the cold start, 3 for 14. Sidebottom misfires. He's off to a 1 for 5 beginning shooting the basketball.
This Aquinas team very well prepared. And when you look at their schedule this year, outstanding. They beat Catholic Central, they beat Brother Rice, they beat Romulus. They're a very good team, Fred.
Smith able to collect the loose ball. It's Rance Thomas, 5'10" senior. He says presses don't bother him. He says I love to break them. Alley-oop toss inside, Horvath, patient and scores. The Raiders would love to do that all morning long here as Horvath has 4. 17-7, this is the biggest lead. It's 10. Kahn had to give it up. Cross-court skip pass. Mayo, good ball movement. Kahn still looking to hit one of those. Rebound, Horvath.
I'll say it again, Fred. The easiest time to make threes is after you've had some interior success and gained your confidence. Real difficult to come out in a big game. You got the nervous energy. That's a problem for Mayo.
Springer gave it up to Smith. A little short of the shot. Rebound, Sidebottom. Fox hit the deck off that collision. Away from the basketball. Stone will fire. A knuckleball. It's down at the bottom. Pat Stone finally gets that 3 ball to fall for Mayo, their first in 8 tries. 17-10. You live and die by the 3 sometimes, and so far it's been an Achilles heel for the Thunderbolts. Inside, Gorman had to adjust in midair. Mayo basketball. No fast break hoops in this game. Both teams have dropped back defensively. There's a foul on Thomas. He was moving. That'll be his first.
Big part of the Mayo attack today is getting quick threes. Now, the reason that's the best time is because the defense is scrambling back. They don't really have a man. The biggest part of their offense today has been pressuring the ball, coming down, and launching the quick shots.
Well, that time, Mayo uncharacteristically throwing it away. Now they've, it should be Aquinas basketball here, and it is. Thunderbolts and their crowd feeling, hey, come on. But the ball was thrown. John Bilich says, wait a minute, there. It went off in Aquinas' hand, but that was right in front of us. Good call by the official. That's just the second turnover for the gang in blue.
Right part of your screen. Once again, you notice the matchup and the respect Justin Gorman gets. Number 21, Pat Stone, is going to shadow him everywhere. It's like Velcro defense. Just attach yourself to the offensive guy and don't let him go.
In your day, it was Scotch tape.
Velcro. Now, chest to chest, and he's not going anywhere. You notice that Aquinas wants to try to pull Mayo out of that zone defense, make him play a little man-to-man. Coach Bilich says, we can't cover them man-to-man. It's going to cause a lot of problems if we get down in the score.
So Aquinas, of course, keep in mind, and no high school shot clock, so they're content to spread the floor. John Bilich stomping his feet over there.
I think Ernie Price is making a great decision. This is going to force an advantage for his team. They're big, 6'6", 6'3" across the front court, 6'8" off the bench. The biggest guy for Mayo is only 6'3". If they can get them man-to-man, distinct advantage for Aquinas.
Now Price says attack. Phil Smith does on the dribble drive, the pull up. Didn't get the bounce. Rebound comes down to Mayo. That's Brian Kahn with it. Stone, cut off by Horvath. Skip pass. Results in a Kahn 3. Rattles out, he's 0 for 7.
So that's a great possession, though, for Mayo. Left side, a great play on the offensive glass. That's the hustle, Fred.
So Sidebottom with the steal, give Greg 5 points. He's their leading scorer at 22.5 a night. 17-12 now. Mayo creeps back within 5. Sometimes those turnover bunnies can light a fire under a team when they're behind. Certainly has the crowd here.
Coach Price told me they're patient. Yeah, I guess so.
Horvath pulls it up. Missed it. Rebound back to Dan Horvath. Smith will fire. Rebound Mayo. Now the Raiders have gone cold from the outside. Sidebottom, they looked for it. Knocked it off the hand of Smith and the turnover. It was really caused more by Sidebottom than it was Phil Smith. Steal! Open floor, Brian Kahn for his first 2. So Kahn, who averages 18 points a game, finally gets off the schneid here. 17-14. Mayo within 3 as we come up on 3 minutes to play here in the first half.
This tempo defensively is what Mayo wants, Fred. This is an outstanding number for them. They only gave up 40 points per game this year. And kind of interesting, at this point, no free throws taken.
That is rare. Smith with a launch. That was a line driver. Bilich over on the Mayo side put his hands to his forehead as if to say, how did that go in?
And Phil Smith is getting a lot of time today. He's only 5'7". They're going to a small lineup.
Bounce feed, a good one inside. Shot was rejected, though, by Horvath. Saved by Kahn, but to Horvath. Aquinas will try to run here. 3-on-3. Gorman travel. So Mayo's quickness getting back, in effect, results in the turnover by Aquinas. Their 6th of the ball game. Hey, we have a ball game, folks. 20-14. Brian Kahn with the alert, quick-handedness. 2:28 to play in the second quarter. A difference of 6. Ernie Price trying to motivate his ball club. As right now, their lead, which was 10, is down to 6. Ernie knows that this ball game is in the balance if they allow tempo to slip away.
Wow, Dan Horvath is just a very, very competitive athlete. He's a 3-year starter for me, and he's a 3-year All-Stater. He's accepted a baseball scholarship up here to Michigan State. He could go any level, Division I, and play any of the 3 sports, whether it be a low D1 in football or even in basketball. He's very capable of doing that.
So Dan Horvath, who throws a fastball in the high 80s, will indeed play baseball for the Spartans, but he also wants to walk on Tom Izzo's basketball team if given the shot.
Last year against Divine Child, Ryan Anderson, the Seattle Mariners #1 pick. All the pro scouts are there. It was Horvath that struck out 17 batters and was clocked at 88 a few times.
Yeah, he was 8-2 last year for the Raiders. Obviously his baseball start this spring delayed a little bit because of hoops. Sidebottom. into double trouble. Had to give it up. Kahn, a long three. That was almost Joe Dumar's range and pulled off by Aquinas' Justin Gorman. Pretty much the same five out there for Ernie Price. 4 starters plus Phil Smith off the bench. Good ball movement there. Springer fires. Rebound pulled down by Kahn. Behind the back. Couldn't beat him down the floor. Sidebottom called for that pass. Launches for 3. Good!
That's outstanding fundamental basketball. Just outstanding. Misdirection, take you to the right. Defense goes that way. And how do you like, that was the Kiki Vandeweghe move.
And a foul away from the basketball. Gonna go against Mile.
Jason Heiser making his presence felt very quickly, coming out with the aggressive defense. And that's a good move. Now, when you watch Justin Gorman, he reminds me a lot of Michigan State's Jason Klein. Big, tall, real thin, excellent stand-up shooter. And he doesn't like aggressive defense.
That's the 15th foul on Miles, so still 2 away from a one-on-one bonus for the Raiders. Coming up in a minute to play in the first half. Gorman had the 2 early threes, has done nothing since. Smith, not bashful. Rebound weak side, nicely by Horvath. Can dribble either hand. Created that on his own, missed it. Sidebottom swatted the rebound. Mayo with a chance to run here. 2-on-2, here comes Horvath hustling. Look at the steal by Springer. It was 2-on, or Thomas rather, it was 2-on-1 when he pulled it away and then threw it away the other side of the floor. Mayo basketball. Will they work for the final shot, perhaps?
Kurt, I had mentioned Coach Bielich's goal. He wants 10 points a quarter with 40 seconds to go. His team is only down 17-20.
A 20-second timeout.
Protect that goddamn basketball. Protect the basketball. Protect the basketball. We want 1 shot. Let's go in either tied, down by 1, or down by 3. Protect the basketball, though, huh?
Pat back in?
Is Pat in right now?
No.
Put Pat in. Yes.
He might not be able to look us in the horn.
Huh? Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3, deep.
Tell you, John Bielich could be a color commentator someday with those pipes.
Well, their game is shooting threes, and they have 4 deep threats: Sidebottom, Brian Kahn, Fox, and Dahl. All 4 of those guys capable of pulling the defense out. You saw they wanted Fox in the game.
Mayo with his surge here, 8-3. Looking to add to it. I would think they'll take the final shot of the half here, too. A chance to maybe even tie at halftime. There's a chance he passes. Terrell Springer almost stole it. Foul. There should be not a moving screen. I thought it might catch Jason Heiser, but it's Phil Smith fighting through that screen. It picks up the foul. That is his second. 25.5 seconds to go.
But I think it's interesting. Southgate Aquinas has an advantage. Last game they played Lenawee Christian. Doug Gray has made 343s over his career. They only gave him 1 open look in the first half, only 1 3 for the game. They're used to covering the 3-pointer.
Pat Stone has replaced Heiser. A little better shooter. Kahn still holding against Smith. Despite 1 for 9 shooting by Kahn, Mile only 3 down. They have to love that. They depend on Kahn so much. Skip pass to Sidebottom. He was fouled. He's got a nose for the rim. And Greg Sidebottom will shoot 2.
Minus foul number 12, Terrell Springer. His first 16 foul.
Offensively, the foundation of Mayo's offense is a lot like Princeton. They spread the court, they make hard cuts, and there's the back cut by Greg Sidebottom. The interesting thing about him, all-state quarterback, 36 touchdowns this year. That's a state record. He has a very strong arm.
So some substitutions being made here as Aquinas hoping with 1.3 to go that they'll at least get a shot out of it. Yeah, you mentioned Sidebottom, the quarterback. This guy, Kahn, was his receiver, 19 pass receptions. That, too, is state record for all classes.
And the neat thing about it, they're cousins. And I asked him before the game, I said, listen, you know, that's taking care of your family, isn't it? He said, well, he just always seemed like he was the open guy. I don't believe him. What about you?
I don't think so. Sidebottom gets them both. Aquinas now will try to get off some sort of a shot. And that will finish a very spirited first half of basketball. Mayo is down 10, looking to be in some trouble in the first quarter, but they got themselves back on the defensive end, started hitting a few shots, and now at halftime in a low-scoring affair, leading favored Aquinas 20-19 thanks to a 10-3 run to finish the second quarter. Let's head over to John Keating.
All right, Fred, thanks. With John Beilich, it looked like the box-and-one that you threw on Justin Gorman really sort of took Aquinas out of their game a bit.
Yeah, it has so far. And we got two kids, Heiser and Pat Stone, I think have done an exceptional job with that. And we feel if they're going to beat us, they're going to beat us outside, and we want some of their other players to try to beat us other than Horvath or Gorman.
On one, this is a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
John Beilich trying to get it done here in the Class D final. Let's go back to Fred McLeod.
John, indeed, a very interesting and fascinating first half, a matchup of different types of styles because of the physical nature of the two ball clubs. We'll be back with more at halftime here from East Lansing. Well, Mayo outscored Southgate Aquinas in the second quarter 11-5, and so the Raider lead is down to 1 point here at halftime. And Tim, you would think that the winning team would score more than 40-some points, but you know, if they continue this tempo to Mayo's liking, then we might have a game in the 40s.
You're exactly right, Fred. This has been a chess match. Aquinas has done a nice job taking care of the ball. The big concern for Ernie Price is that he thought they would dominate the boards. Mayo's gotten a draw in that area.
All right, John Keating back with Marshall Thomas. And John, I would imagine the coach is pretty happy in the fact that a upper-lower peninsula team is doing pretty well.
All right, Fred, thanks. With Marshall Thomas, coach, a roller coaster in the first half. What do these two teams look to do in the second half?
Okay, there's been a chess match at the beginning. What Mayo has got to do is find a way to combat the quickness on defense of Southgate Aquinas. Southgate has got to find a way to be able to get their two main scorers more into the game offensively.
All right, more insight from Marshall Thomas as we continue along over the course of the day, but back we go to Fred McLeod.
All right, John, thanks very much. We'll be back with more here at halftime. This is just the first of 4 games all day long here on Fox Sports Detroit. Get buckled in.
High school boys basketball continues. The Class D final at the Breslin Center has Aquinas on top of Mio 20-19. Welcome back to the campus of Michigan State University. I'm John Keating. Somewhere in Lansing last night there was quite a party. More than 100 people made their way from various points around the country, from California and Missouri. All these people were from the tiny Upper Peninsula town of Chassell. Once upon a time, Chassell was a small school with a big streak of success. And here at Michigan State, they have been the first recipients of the Michigan High School Legends of the Game Award. When you think of Michigan high school boys basketball, cities such as Saginaw and Flint and Lansing and Detroit pop to mind. But what about Chassell? Chassell is located in the northwestern region of the Upper Peninsula and has a population of about 1,200 proud citizens. Proud because Chassell High School holds a distinction that no other Michigan high school has been able to match: 65 consecutive victories. The streak accumulated over the course of the 1956, 1957, and 1958 seasons, earning them 3 state championships, a record that still stands and likely will never be broken. The streak didn't come without its challenges, though. In the 1956 final, the Panthers were trailing Portland St. Patrick by 15 points with only 2:13 left in the game.
On the finals on 56, that was a good one. Yeah. We came back as scrappy kids.
We didn't play well, especially in the second quarter. And we were reminded of that very firmly at halftime by Coach Elikoski. It cost Michigan State University a couple of lockers, I believe, that he happened to tap with his fist.
When it came down to the last few minutes of that ball game, we were behind, and Coach Eddie says, you, and you went in and you played your darn hardest out.
So we scored 15 points in about 2.5 minutes to tie the game. And then we had a couple free throws down the stretch. We scored 18 points, and they didn't score 1.
the fans, there's 13,000 people there or something. They just marveled at this little tremendous comeback that we were coming into, and it was just great. Something you never will forget.
Even though many years have passed and the building once known as the home to the streak is now an historical site in the city of Chassell, the players are unanimous in their belief as to why they were so successful. It was because they had a great teacher, mentor, and coach, the late Ed Helikoski.
He didn't take any guff from nobody, and he was like a Lombardi, but fair. I mean, you either played hard for him or you sat the bench. And if you didn't do what he wanted, you sat the bench.
We had one heck of a coach. He was a disciplinarian, and what a mentor. What a mentor he was, and he had such an impact on all our lives, I believe, as to right, wrong, and indifferent, and just heck of a guy. Heck of a guy. Hated to see him go.
Ed Helikoski was the reason why, you know, we won 3 state championships and 65 games in a row. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, he was a fair man, but a tough man.
Great man, good coach, good teacher, and can't say enough about that guy.
With the recent celebration of their glory years, it has forced the team members to reminisce, to take a stroll down memory lane, if you will. But that seems like a journey they are most happy to take.
It's done a lot for me in my life. Sports are one of the biggest things that one can do, and I think you grow up to be a pretty clean kid, and it's family same way. You know, I mean, your family grows up in sports and you stay out of trouble and things like this, and that's what it's all about in my eyes. And the townspeople, you'd walk down the street and they tip your hat, and to this day they still do that. I mean, after all these years. But we had some tremendous people and fans. I mean, what a gathering we had.
Malone, Dave Dzelski, jump of the Chassell circle, tipped out by 2 Hoppala. Hoppala fakes the shot in the corner. Madsen, his jump shot is up, and it's good. Don Madsen up and in for Chassell. That's Twombly. Al in the corner to Maxwell. Maxwell brings it out to Hoppala, then to Madsen. Madsen, the long jump shot, it's up and in. Don Madsen's about 3 feet back to the top of the circle.
You sit there and it actually brings tears to your eyes when you start remembering the, you know, the things that went on, the camaraderie between your teammates, you know, and it wasn't. And we were really a team, you know, but that's the way we were coached. And that's the way, and we still all feel that same way. It was a team effort.
You have control of what's going on, so you're not nervous while you're playing, like the fans. But when it's over, then you start thinking about it, and that's when it sets in, that, you know, well, we actually accomplished something.
Drives on the far side. He's held up now, right at the free throw line. Pass center, intercepted by Swope. Way down corner goes to Howe. Intercepted by Madsen. The horn sounds, and there's the ball game. And there it is. It's all over but the shouting.
They just held a lovely ceremony honoring Chassell here, and keep in mind that the last time Chassell won the state championship, they were able to take the trophy back across the Mackinac Bridge. It had just been finished. We'll get you back to the Class D final after this.
Well, Southgate Aquinas this season averaged 66 points a game, but right now being held to just 20 as they only managed 2 points in the second quarter. Well, there you see our halftime feature, the members of the 3-time state champions from the UP of Chassell, Michigan. And those guys were honored today, and really a neat scene to see these gentlemen come back. They dearly love the game of basketball, and obviously in their day were heroes, and they still are, what the heck, in the town of Chassell.
Anybody that can make the 2-hand set shot is my hero.
So far, not a whole lot of jumpers, one-handed style made on either team. Both teams below 40%, Tim. And as you see the 3-point shooting, Aquinas not too bad, but Mayo, despite the two, they've got to feel great because they knocked down a lot more than 30% from the floor.
The disparity, 3-pointers, you would have to favor Mayo. They haven't done a good job. The reason they're in this game is because they've stayed even on the glass.
And they protected the ball. Only 4 turnovers in the first half.
if that little baby's from Mayo, someday he probably will play on the team. Great sense of community. Now, here's a situation where I think it's real important to look at. When you're playing a 2-3 zone, the foundation of the zone is to cover an area and not a player. In that case right there, it really is difficult to box out, and that's where the second chance points come from.
Aquinas will inbound the basketball with Horvath up front with Justin Gorman. And then basically a three-guard offense here with Thomas, Phil Smith, and Terrence Springer. Smith came off the bench as a six-man to start the ball game. He has the ball right now. Horvath for three. Rimmed out on him, rebound Sidebottom. Quickly outletting to Kahn. As you can tell, though, gets back quickly on defense. Sidebottom, very assertive with the basketball. Airmailed it, though, into the hands of Gorman.
Big adjustment defensively by Aquinas at halftime. They have the better athletes, so they bring out more defensive pressure. Another concern, no free throws first half.
Thomas short off the glass. Got his own miss, though. Grant still looking for his first field goal. There it is. 42.
I like the aggressive posture. They've been settling for too many perimeter jump shots, no free throws. Well, how do you remedy that? You take the ball aggressively to the basket.
Kahn spinning in the lane against Smith's defense. 22-19 Aquinas. Rebound pulled out of there by Springer.
At this point, Fred, Garrett Daw and Brian Kahn, the best two perimeter shooters, are 2 for 13 from three-point land.
That's got to turn around if Mayo's going to win the state championship. Phil Smith, nowhere to go with Sidebottom, the big guy on him. Thomas again gets free this time. No help out, and he missed it. Mayo dodged a bullet there. Thomas now 1 for 6 shooting.
This is their 51 defense. It's a two-man trap in the corner. They want to try to speed up the offense.
Long bomb. Stone rather, finally drains one for Mayo. That Stone was 7, 22-22 as the Thunderbolts catch the three ball. 2 minutes gone now in the third quarter. Phil Smith with a fake, didn't get the shot. Horvath does for three. And Horvath has 7. He averages 22 points a game.
Mr. Inside-outside. His game is primarily inside, but last game against Lenawee Christian, 3 for 3, so he is capable.
25-22. The score reminiscent of the Chassell days, isn't it, Tim? Alley-oop inside, perfect, on the money. And Garrett Daw has 4.
But Fred, back in those days, didn't they have the center jump after each basket?
Yeah, they had an excuse. 25-24.
Once again, little matchup zone, staying real close to Justin Gorman. Boxing 1.
Will Smith only 5'7". That's Thomas. Comes out shooting here. He's normally a pass first kind of guy. Thomas knocked it out of bounds as he tried to get the loose ball rebound. Ernie Price wasn't too happy about this kind of defense. Is really the easy alley-oop inside the Daw. Minutes left in the third quarter. Kahn with the quickness. Into the teeth of the defense, finally open. Thomas, the little guy, the point guard at 5'10", blocking the shot.
We've seen 2 consecutive sequences in which Mayo was able to go inside. And that's real unusual because Aquinas has the great size. The difference is the defense is so spread out on the court, it allows gaps and seams into the paint.
Brian Fair checks in. He was a starter at center. Ball stripped neatly by Smith. Still Mayo basketball. Kahn for 3. Got it! Or excuse me, that's Daw. Garrett Daw has 7. And Mayo takes its first lead at 27-25. Horvath tries to get it back and does. 28-27 Aquinas. Horvath now with 10. He's hit back-to-back triples for the Raiders. Sidebottom, scooping, missing them. Rebound to Aquinas. Horvath taking over a little bit.
Fred, defensively, Mayo is so concerned about Justin Gorman. They're going to have to find an answer because Dan Horvath is making threes in the second half.
Yeah, Gorman's only taken 4 shots for Aquinas.
I guess you can't take everything away, can you?
Thomas, nice spin move. Back to Smith, an open look for a 3. Got it!
Will Smith hits his second tray. Now Aquinas heating up outside the arc. They lead by 4. Coming up on 3.5 to play in quarter number 3. Boys Class D state championship. 3 more to follow here on Fox Sports Detroit. Good look inside to Sidebottom. Nice creation there. Greg Sidebottom with 12 points. You can see why he's their spiritual and physical leader.
Fred, for a guy that scores so well, he had 33 in their last outing. He's very patient, and seldom do you see him take anything but a good shot.
Also a 3.3 grade student to go along with that athletic talent. Gorman had to give it up because of a foul. It's on Jason Heiser. Been a pretty foul-free ball game. Neither team has been really that close to getting themselves in foul trouble, at least on a team basis. Heiser, though, does pick up his 3rd personal foul. He has to come off the floor. Timeout on the floor here at the Breslin Center. 2:58 to go. The tempo heating up just a little bit as the outside shots are starting to fall. The Raiders of Aquinas lead it, though, 31-29. Well, the Pistons have to be thinking about some sort of revenge against the Cavaliers after last night's heart-pounding loss in Cleveland. The rematch next Wednesday at the Palace here on Fox Sports Detroit, starting with a pregame at 7 o'clock.
It's called run and jump defense. Coach Price called his 51 defense. So much pressure on ball side. If they're able to get it weak side, there's got to be a quick rotation. And there you see the beautiful look. And they haven't shot good 3-pointers, but for Aquinas' standpoint, they've done an outstanding job of contesting shots. And Fred, this is my philosophy. Hand goes up, field goal percentage goes down.
Again, one of those lost starts sometimes where defenders get away from that. Thomas on the inbound, a long toss to Smith.
You know, Phil Smith has had a real big role today because they've gone with a smaller lineup. Brian Fair's been on the bench.
Smith on the dribble drive. Came up shy. Rebound to Kahn. Mayo with the basketball, down a deuce. We haven't had a lot of close games in the state tournament this year, but this certainly has the makings of it.
Like high school basketball, Fred. This has been a well-played game.
Inside to Sidebottom in the post. Had to give it up because of double teaming. And then a throwaway. Mayo was expecting Kahn. The last time he had seen him seconds earlier was near the hash mark, but he had moved to the top of the circle. And Stone with a mistake. You can't fault him. He's hit all 3 of his field goal shots. 5th turnover.
I thought it was a crisp pass. The referee just wasn't ready for it.
Wasn't looking for the ball, huh? So the Raiders with the ball, leading by 2. They led by 10 in the first quarter. Aquinas content here to work some clock. Good look inside the Fair. Missed the layup, though. Kind of lost the grip as he was going up. Mayo on the attack. Kahn. Oh, no foul call. Aquinas got away with that one. John Bialik's going crazy over there. Smith looked to have some contact for sure on Dahl. They let him play.
I'm convinced if Southgate is patient, they can get inside.
Horvath missed the bunny too. Comes out to Thomas, almost blocked. Had to readjust it, that's why he missed it. Horvath. Inside, yes. And Horvath has a dozen, 8 in this quarter. Aquinas by 4 again. He's starting to take over a little bit offensively, looking for the ball. He's now 5 for 10 shooting. Back the other way. Mayo misfiring again. It's Daw who tried to pick up the 3 ball. 33-29, Raiders with the ball.
Last 3 or 4 sequences, Aquinas has been able to use their strength. The defense for Mayo is so spread out on the court, they've got to start building a wall right around the paint and keep them on the perimeter like they did first half.
Justin Gorman on the far side has been no factor. They've basically taken him out of his game.
Now, he hasn't been a factor in the scoring department, but his presence on the court has really changed what Miles had to do defensively.
Yeah, point well taken. Just the threat of him out there has caused a problem for the Thunderbolts. Aquinas trying to work it down for the final shot of the third quarter. 20 seconds to play now. Smith looked up at the clock. Thomas will start at motion with 10 to go. Deep pass to Fair, gets it up, no. His own miss, he was stripped by Sidebottom and a foul.
Southgate is so big along the front line. Brian Fair, very businesslike, going up strong. Swipe across the arms. And one thing he's going to learn as his game continues to mature, you can't bring the ball down. It's a big, strong kid. You know, what I like about both of these teams, very tough physical, they all play football. 9 players for Southgate Aquinas play on the football team out of 15. 9 players for Mayo play. So as long as they don't get hurt, they're going to be real tough basketball players.
Yeah, this is easy stuff for them, physically anyway. Brian Fair misses the free throw.
Another 3.3 student.
Foul was assessed to Greg Sidebottom, his second. Fair misses again. Rebound to Mayo. They'll look for an easy one from half court. Not enough time. So Aquinas on the shoulders of Dan Horvath in a big third quarter. They feel they're 8 minutes away from a second state championship. We'll be back to East Lansing.
Going to the decisive final quarter. Now, talking before the game, this is the matchup to watch. Greg Sidebottom defensively told me that he wants to force Dan Horvath to his left hand. I say throw that scouting report out. He's very good. Now, let's stop it right here. Defensively, you have to be in a help position. Number 41, Chad Fox, has to slide over, cut him off. That's where you take the charge. Dan Horvath, outstanding quarter. 3 out of 5 from the field, 2 threes, 8 points. He's the reason they've had a chance to get a 4-point bulge.
Well, third quarter shooting, Aquinas sort of doubled their pleasure. They only took 7 shots in the second quarter, took 14 in the third, and wound up hitting 5 of those. And so the Raiders start the fourth quarter on defense, leading by 4. That's Kahn. Ran out of room. Good bounce feed inside, though. Daw lays it in. Garrett Daw with 9 points. And where would they be without him? He averages 14 points a game.
As I watched that play, I got a flashback to Hoosiers.
33-31. Alley-oop toss, knocked away by Sidebottom, intended for Horvath. Here come the Bolts, looking to maybe take the lead. They trail 33-31. Opening minute of the final quarter. Mayo's biggest lead has been 2. They fought from a 10-point first quarter deficit. These possessions now so precious with a state title on the line.
Offense, very basic. Pass, cut, replace. Nice spacing. Very difficult to defend. Also, before the game, very difficult to scout and prepare for.
John Bailovich calling a timeout here, a 20-second timeout. Let's listen in.
All right, come on. All right, Phil's in there. We got to go 51. Don't leave 44. All right, 51 tight. Let's get after it. Hey, look to push it. Let's make good decisions. Make good decisions. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, ready.
51 defense. We talked about earlier. We illustrated it. That's the run and jump trap. They want to try to get Mayo taking a quick shot.
So Ernie Price having to sweat this one out. They've played tight games this year.
Watch the quick trap, Fred.
Aquinas leading the battle of the boards by 5. open floor. Justin Gorman will take it to the rack, and he is fouled. Pat Stone really had no other choice. You would think, Tim, that Aquinas would have the edge in a close game as you watch this play again.
The trap, weak side. Here's the trap coming. He tries to get rid of the ball prematurely, and Justin Gorman did an outstanding job of playing the passing lanes. And this is sort of an opportunity for Justin Gorman to showcase his abilities. I believe he's a Division I player. He's getting some looks from some good schools like Central Michigan. Jay Smith, who's a Mayo guy, I guess he'd be going against the grain by taking somebody that potentially could beat his team. Also, he's looking at Butler.
Gorman with one more. Aquinas lost 2 games this year to Class C finalist DePorce. You'll see them on a 12:30 tape delay just after midnight. One was a buzzer beater, the other was an overtime DePorce won. So Aquinas has been in these sweat on the brow type of ball games. 35-31, they lead by 4 here. 6:25 and counting in the fourth. Swing it to the corner. Open Jay. Got it! Chad Fox gets his first field goal of the morning. 35-34. The Aquinas lead is 1.
That was a set play, Fred. They set a weak side screen, and that's a big basket because three-point shooting has been a weakness.
Phil Smith to the launch. He gets it right back. That's got to be a killer for a team like Mayo that get the 3 and then give it up.
I think over my right shoulder I heard a collective gasp from the Mayo crowd.
Saying my oh my. 38-34. The Bolts looking to get within 1. They do. Ryan Kahn, who's had trouble knocking them down really this weekend, had a poor shooting game in the semifinals, but he did hit the bottom of the well there. He is now 2 for 10, and more importantly, his team again down 1. Mayo doing better in the three-point department as Thomas fights it up with a whistle. And Rance Thomas, the 5'10 senior, shoots 2 here with 5:23 left.
Nice ball reversal. Set up. Anytime a shooter with his ability has a chance to get 2 feet set, get his eyes squared on the rim, his teammates know he's capable. They see that every day in practice. Here's Rance Thomas at the line. Very explosive player. Not surprising, another football guy running back on an outstanding team. The coaches say, kind of interesting, he looks like he's coasting out there. He looks lazy at times, and all of a sudden, he just takes off and explodes, and he's been the guy that has really sparked this team in the second half with his penetration.
Thomas gets the spin. So Rance with 3 points. Aquinas just 3 of 6 from the free throw line. They lead by 2. Now breaks the pressure. Which continues in the front court. Sidebottom on the deck. Strip. Got a foul to go with it. Thomas got some skin. You could hear it. Almost a great defensive play.
I've noticed that when Mayo executes their offense, when they make 4, 5, or 6 passes, it seems like defensively Southgate lets up a little bit. Now, this might be a pretty good strip. Up right across the arms. Referees right on top of it. And Greg Sidebottom, as we said earlier, the beneficiary of tremendous spacing by his teammates. You can't help out if you're out covering at the three-point line.
So the All-State quarterback with 2 is a 78% free thrower. That's the first. He does have 3 fouls. So that's a little bit of concern on the Mayo side down the stretch here. Greg calmly knocks them both down. 39-39. Mayo with full court pressure. Thomas set a strip, Sidebottom. A nice knockaway. Mayo to take the lead. Kahn lays it in. Brian Kahn off the full court pressure. The Thunderbolts lead 41-39 with 4:50 left.
That's the first time that we've seen the full court pressure in the second half, and it caught Aquinas off guard.
Bilovich with great timing there, and one to unleash that full court pressure. Horvath gave it up to Smith for 3. Got it! Phil Smith has 14 points. He's hit 4 trays. And the 5'7" junior puts the Raiders back in front 42-41.
Coach Price told me yesterday that when they go to the small lineup, Phil Smith is the key. Coach Price, I agree.
Sidebottom against full court pressure the other way now. In effect, Mayo has forced Aquinas to go with a smaller lineup. That's Pat Stone who gave it up. Sidebottom for three. The bottom! 44-42 Mayo.
The Mayoites are going crazy behind. Is that what they are, Mayoites?
That's good enough for me. Coming up on 4 minutes to play. Southgate Aquinas, the favorite, but down two. Smith nowhere near. Not a good shot. Looks like he got between wanting to bank it and taking a shot for the rim.
Big question. Mayo with the lead by 2. Do they take some of the air out of the ball, or do they continue to be aggressive?
Kahn with a good dribble drive. Foul on Springer. Perhaps he was figuring that Mayo would melt some time away. But Kahn, with the aggressive dribble, drew the whistle. 3:41 to play at the Breslin Center. This baby's going down to the final few seconds. Opening day, the real stuff. Tigers of 98 here on Fox Sports Detroit. Tuesday at Tropicana Field, the season opener. Only one place you can see it, right here on Fox Sports Detroit. It all begins at 4:30. Note the time on opening day.
Throughout the game, coaches chart which plays are working the best for their offense. Greg Sidebottom with a real nice look at the basket. High screen and roll. And the help from Phil Smith, a step too late. And Fred, this is an important time, not only in this game, but in the lives and the future of these kids. They will always remember this last 3:41.
And you want to remember it as a state champion. Mayo with the basketball. And 3:40 left. Thunderbolts have outscored them 9-2 here to take this lead. Now Aquinas with defensive pressure. They're looking for a steal. There it is. Horvath, open floor. Will he dunk? Yes, he will. Dan Horvath threw it down. He's got 14. 44 all. Big play by a big-time player. Now Mayo must look for some sort of a shot.
Well, that defense is really extended out. 2-3 zone.
Kahn for three. In and out. Rebound, Sidebottom. A foul from behind. Justin Gorman hacked him, but Sidebottom, so active inside and out, will shoot a pair. 2:56 left.
Justin Gorman. His first 13 foul. Shooting foul for Sidebottom. That's 2.
Dan Horvath playing the passing lanes. Great timing. Greg Sidebottom makes his first free throw for Mayo.
Makes it 45-44. Number 44 missed the second though. Sidebottom with 18, but Aquinas now with a chance to go in front. 2:50 and ticking in the fourth. High drama near high noon at the Breslin Center, and a timeout for Ernie Price. Comes with 2:45 left in the fourth quarter. Let's check in and listen to Ernie Price, see what he has up his sleeve.
Chase, what are we offensively? Regular zone O, he wants. Regular zone O, Justin inside. All right. All right, regular side, regular zone O.
Justin and you inside, X and out. You gotta
X
move.
and out.
You gotta X
Okay.
out and move.
All right, listen. Defensively, when we score, we're 100, we stay in 100.
Percentage. You must deny him the pass. You must deny him the pass. Number 2, you guards in front in the matchup. You can't overplay and get beat on dribble penetration because he's going to hit Gorman or Horvath with a shot. Yes, I want Pat Lowe on the offense.
Brian, you gave the ball up and went ahead.
Yes, you've got to move to the ball, the open area, son.
Give him second and third.
We've got to attack.
That's what.
Play good. Let's go. Yeah. You go down low. You're on top.
Okay.
Chase.
Hey, Chase.
If we miss.
1, 2, 3, ready. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Come on. Right here.
What do you expect here, Tim?
This is going to be good. Defensively, Mayo wants to attack. They know that Southgate Aquinas wants to go to Horvath and Gorman. The key thing to remember, Is the Southgate Aquinas perimeter defense versus the zone able to pull the defense away?
You see A, B, and C coming up consecutively here on Fox Sports Detroit. Not a good foul by Sidebottom. It's his 4th in the lane. Springer picked it up. Non-shooting foul.
Can't break down your defensive fundamentals. He reached.
Horvath way deep. Almost turned it over in front of his bench. Amazingly, Aquinas cannot find Gorman at all. Justin still with only 4 shots.
It's a little triangle and 2 matching up on the ball.
A long launch. No by Thomas. Rebound, Sidebottom. 2:15 and counting. Mayo with a 1-point lead in the ball and a timeout. John Bilich will map out the final 2:13.
Listen, all right, we got the lead again.
Listen, guys.
Something real quick.
Yeah.
We were in the same spot the last time we called a timeout and you threw the ball away. All right? We just got to take care of the ball. We got a 1-point lead. Spread the 1 out.
Spread, okay.
But we got to attack.
Spread the 1 out, but you attack. But listen. You've got to back cut. You've got to back cut. Garrett's man is following him. He's not denying him. Fake. Bounce pass. If it's not there, at least we have the ball. Don't give this ball up on a turnover or take an ill-advised shot.
Listen, they've only got...
All right, regular zone O on the perimeter. All right, handle it, move the ball around, make sure. Earl, once in a while, you go ahead and step out. Like you did, like a horseshoe with just Justin in the middle. But make sure we get good shot selection.
Inside once in a while. You go inside every time.
Come on, Lance. Hey.
Hey, we got a foul.
Let's go. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, ready.
All right, so Mayo trying to somehow protect this 1-point lead. What do you make of all that?
Pressure defense is what Aquinas is going to bring. Now, anytime you're playing against somebody that's in your face and they're breathing on you and they're sweating on you, you have to attack it with aggressiveness. Mayo is going to do 2 things: crisp passes, hard cuts. We talked about that. That's what Princeton basketball is all about. If they're pressuring you, you just go away from the pressure.
Each team with 2 timeouts. Mayo with a 1-point lead in the ball. If Aquinas is going to foul, Kahn would be a possibility. He's only a 63% shooter. A jump ball. Possession arrow to Aquinas.
Southgate does a real smart thing there. They use the sideline as a defender. They cut off the angles. Now, the number 1 thing you can't do is pick up the ball. And they also left him in a tough position. Brian Kahn had nobody else coming to help him out.
Bill Smith with the ball. He's not been bashful. Neither is Thomas in the second half, especially. Bounce feed to Thomas. Good look inside Horvath. Creates some space and he scores. And Horvath with 16. 46-45. The Raiders go in front by 1.
Nice to be 6-6, huh?
A duel to the end here. Coming up in a minute and a half to play. Horvath trying to draw the charge. Sidebottom misfire. Rebound lost by Justin Gorman and a reach-in foul, Mayo. And it's on Brian Kahn. Gorman got his 11th rebound there. And in the process, managed to draw the foul.
Greg Sidebottom is usually going to knock that shot down. He was off balance. That's a tough call right there. It looked like the referee was blocked away. He was shielded by Brian Kahn. I'm not sure he got a good look at that.
So Aquinas will now try to kill some clock. 16 foul on Mayo.
Let's not forget, Aquinas has outstanding perimeter ball handlers. And also, they play 5 seniors. They've got 5 seniors on the court.
Ernie Price had signaled a timeout, and finally it is called by the Raiders with 56.5 seconds to go. Boy, what a chess match this has been. You're up 1, you're protecting the lead. You're down 1, you're trying to perhaps foul, and the Raiders came up with that jump ball, which ultimately swung the tide.
First thing we got to do is we got to get a 5. You got to get a 5. We've got to get the ball back. If they get the ball in, you're going to have to go over them. Watch yourself. You got 4 fouls on you, okay? Listen. You're in a position where they're going to be dribbling and stuff. Take a charge so we can get the ball back.
Good trap, guy. Come up. Let's go.
We've got to get the ball back. If we get the ball back, why aren't we attacking this with our offense? What are we getting trapped for in the corner here? That one play, yes, you had a timeout. That one play is designed for team.
5 guys got to crash the 5 guys got to crash the defensive board. Listen, when we enter the ball, if they're man-to-man, we're cat and mouse. Now, when they foul, we're going to the free throw line. You got to protect it. If you get in trouble, we got 3 timeouts left. You use another one if you have to. Side out. Enter the ball. 1, 2, 3. Right. Come on.
Well, you can feel the tension from those huddles. We heard John Violet say we want a 5. What's he talking about?
Man-to-man defense, pressure all over, but they have to, I'm sorry, when you said a 5, what they're talking about is he wants the 5-second call.
Right.
They want to try to get the possession back, and the only way they can do that is with the aggressive man-to-man defense.
Horvath, the lead feed to Thomas. Fouled right away by Kahn. This will put Aquinas at the line in a 1-on-1 situation. Stops the clock with 55.3. And now they're hoping that Thomas will have trouble at the stripe. Aquinas by 1.
This is the guy that you want at the line, Rance Thomas. 0 for 2 from the line today. But the one thing you would like, he's a senior. He's been here before.
Rance gets the first of 2. A 2-point game, 47-45. His 4th point. Senior cool right now. Got it again. That took some guts. 22nd timeout. So now Mayo trails by a tray.
Decision time for John Bilich. Still plenty of time, 55 seconds to go. But when you have the deadly 3 in your arsenal, maybe you go for it.
Pressure, pressure, pressure.
You've got to break this press. Make sure your spacing's good. 1-4 high. Run your 1-4 high on the press break. OU. Let's run the OU. We might be able to drill a 3.
Chad, coming for you again.
1, 2, 3 deep.
Hey, we got 2 timeouts.
A little too early, Tim, with 55.3 to go for Mayo to be thinking about a 3?
No, I think you get the best shot, and he called the OU. That's a reference to Ty McGregor, who is a former standout at Mayo, and he went on and played college basketball at Oakland University. I'm sure that's a play that he brought to this program.
Almost a 5-second violation. It's a timeout call, forced by really suffocating defense by the Raiders.
By the way, Ty McGregor, who went to Oakland University on full scholarship from Mayo, is currently on the assistant coaching staff of Jay Smith at Central Michigan.
Everybody's got to take care of their man.
Here's Ernie Price.
Listen, make sure on the long pass we don't let him throw a long pass. The second thing is, we've got only 3 team fouls, all right? So you put pressure on. Hey, you can't, no, you're not giving up a score by any means. Coach is saying is be ready for a kick for a 3, guard the 3. But listen, double team, 44, don't ever leave him, Danny. He's a 3, 41's a shooter, 21's a shooter.
We want the OU.
So John Violet again calling the OU, this play call to try to get a good shot off here. John Keating, of course, after the ball game, will interview the winning coach on the floor, so stay tuned. We'll have all the trophy ceremony as well. Now the timeout situation, down to 1 for each.
This is OU right here, 1-4 set, trying to get the ball in and break the press.
They do easily to Kahn. That's Springer with defense. The long arms of Terrence Springer. Looking for a swipe. He can't foul here, though. Kahn ran out of floor space. Open bomb from the corner. No good. Rebound, Horvath. Garrett Daw tried to be the hero to tie it. Now with 40 seconds to go, Aquinas will go to the line for another one-on-one opportunity.
Foul
Can't fault the shot here, Tim.
This is exactly the shot they wanted. Good look, weak side. So much pressure on the ball side that if they reverse it quickly, they get anything they want. Dan Horvath has played a very solid game today.
Well, if he's looking to walk on that Spartan basketball team, what better a place than the Breslin Center to come up with an outstanding game. He gets to hop. Horvath has 17, 49-45. Now a two-possession game for the Raiders.
This changes things. I don't think they're going to be as aggressive with a two-possession lead.
Horvath sticks the second. So 4 straight free throws knocked down by the Raiders. 50-45. Mayo has to hurry. They pick up Daw, who drives inside, missed it. Rebound to Aquinas. Phil Smith, Horvath, Gorman. They'll burn time. Mayo must foul. And Gorman will shoot a one-on-one. Aquinas now 19 seconds away from a title. John Bilich frustrated right now.
This is a real frustrating situation. He told his players that Mayo went to the state championship at the Silverdome and lost their title. He felt this is an opportunity for them to have some redemption. And he said, you know, you didn't get it done the first time. Get it done today, guys.
The helpless faces. Can't bear to watch. It's been such a sway of emotions. Even a one-point lead seemed like it might be able to hold up because of how close this game was. And then you fall down by 1 or 3 or now 6. Look at the Raiders. They've hit 6 straight crunch time free throws and a 7-point lead with 19 seconds to go. Perhaps premature celebration? The Raiders hope not, but they got to be careful. Let's listen in on Ernie Price's huddle.
Eddie's for Phil. You got to get your mats up. All right, now listen. Listen. 75 tight. Look for a long pass. There'll be guys down. Listen, if a guy is driving to the hole, commit the foul. As long as it's not a shooting foul, we got 3 team fouls. Hey, yeah, if he gets the ball and he's dribbling up the floor 4 or 5 seconds, belly up on him. Don't make it be an intentional foul, but you can foul him. Wait. Fellas, hey, you guys have got to crash the boards too, and let's get it in our hands. 1, 2, 3, ready.
Hey, wait, right here. Hey, let's go.
Well, as you heard Ernie Price remind his team, they in effect have 3 fouls to give.
1, 2, 3, defense.
And the energy in the Mayo huddle obviously depleted a little bit.
That was a power outage. 3 possessions. Everything went Southgate Aquinas' way. They were fouled, they made their free throws. Mayo hasn't been able to get it done with their 3-point shooting. It's a real nice effort by both teams, but sometimes it's just execution.
The first of 4 games will have the Class A finale, the all-Wayne County battle, live at 4, followed by Marshall and River Rouge Class B. And then the Class C game, a 12:30 a.m. replay. Foul by Mayo. They have no choice, of course, with 14.8. Look at the anticipation in those faces. And tears of joy already starting to flow. Pardon me, I said Mayo with a foul. Obviously Aquinas with one of those to give, and now another whistle. 52-45, 7-point game, 11.8 to go. Kahn had to give it up. Sidebottom, who's played so well, misfires. Rebound Aquinas, and that's going to do it. Dan Horvath, open floor, exclamation point. The Raiders have won the Michigan Class D State Championship 54-45, and let the celebration begin. For every win
winner, there has to be a loser.
Great job.
Thank you.
A job well done by the Thunderbolts of Mayo. They can certainly hold their heads up high.
Fellas, let's go. Let's go. Ben, sit down.
Ernie Price told us before the game that coaches have more butterflies than players in these situations. But right now he can relax. He has his second state championship, this time at the Class D level. And the Raiders will haul a trophy back to Southgate.
Ernie Price, obviously, very proud. He's won a title in 1993 with John Garvalia and Jason Singleton. He's got to feel that a lot of work and 5 seniors that all came together for the good of the team have done something that's going to last a lifetime.
Aquinas got it done with free throws in the fourth quarter. They made all but one. And as a result, they have the second state championship in school history. We'll be back to wrap it up. And the Class D title goes to Aquinas. Dan Horvath, every time he walks into this building as a Michigan State Spartan freshman this fall, he'll have memories of this day when he led his team to the Class D state championship. Let's go to the presentation now with Eric Oforsa.
Of the championship trophy and medals. How about it? Let's acknowledge 2 fine teams. Great play, great game. At this time, we direct your attention to center court, where Robert Riemersma, principal, Manistee High School, member of the Michigan High School Athletic Association, Representative Council, will make the awards presentations. First of all, to the runner-up in Class D, the Thunderbolts of Mayo. First, we will present individual medals. Number 11, Rick Hadd. #13, Bob Zabo. #15, Jason Ryder. #23, Mario Garnett. #31, Brian Orr. #33, Brian Gibson. #35, Calvin Fox. #43, Norman Graff. #51, Jason Heiser. #53, Tom Centers. #21, Pat Stone. #25, Garrett Daw. #41, Chad Fox. #44, Greg Sidebottom. And #55, Brian Kahn. And accepting the runner-up trophy in Class D, Coach John Bielek. Congratulations to the Thunderbolts of Mayo.
John Bielek will carry the trophy back to Mayo. Well, as Michelle Kwan said in Nagano, I came to harvest gold, but I'll gladly accept silver.
And now,
and that's the feeling of Mayo
for the
right
1998
now. Out of the
Michigan High
champs
School Athletic
from Southgate,
Class
the Aquinas
D
Raiders.
champions, the Raiders of Southgate Aquinas. First, the individual medals. Number 12, Terrell Springer. 20, Sam Hunter. (24) Alan Palmatier. (30) Joe Burke. (33) Phil Smith. (34) Eddie Holmes. (40) Brian Carter. (44) Eric Sanders. (50) Kevin Williams. (53) Aaron Kessel. Number 10, Justin Gorman. (22) Terrence Springer. (42) Rance Thomas. (43) Dan Horvath. And 54, Brian Fair. And accepting the championship trophy, Coach Ernie Price. Congratulations to the Raiders of Southgate Aquinas, the 1998 Class D boys basketball champions.
All for the Aquinas fans to see. I don't know if tears of joy flow any more freely than tears of despair, but these tears will flow long into the night. The Raiders were bounced the last couple of years in the regional finals by DePorres and Bishop Borges, both Catholicly rivals and won state championships. Well, today it was the Raiders' turn, as they'll be dancing long into the night. Maybe the coach too, what the heck. Ernie Price wins his second state championship. Stay tuned for all the post-game festivities. John Keating will be back to talk with the coach as he gets his thoughts together. We'll return to wrap up the Class D championship finale after this. Well, the Raiders of Southgate Aquinas hit 9 of 10 free throws in the fourth quarter, and that's why they're taking the title trophy back to Southgate. Let's go to John Keating with a couple of happy Raiders.
All right, Fred, thanks. Yeah, Ernie Price was teary-eyed after this one. You've been through this before. You've won a title. Why was this so much different?
Well, I got 5 seniors, been with me for 3 years. You know, something special for them. It's not the game itself. In high school coaching, this is a sad time for me when you got to lose and you leave those kids. And then, you know, you build more, and even though you've been in it 20 years, win or lose, the last game's always sad because you're going to say bye and send great people out into the world to become great citizens.
Well, let's talk happy times. Your kids really sucked it up in the fourth quarter. I thought you got great clutch play from a guy we're going to talk to, Dan Horvath, and junior Phil Smith.
Well, he's been a leader for us all year long. Danny is just a competitor. He's one of the most competitive players that's played for me all year. You know, Justin Gorman shoots the lights out, and they went to a box and won early. And, you know, we think we got enough guns to go other ways, and we do some things to get them open, but you got to give Mile a lot of credit. They're a very pesky team. They're, you know, 27-0 is no slouch. They're a very, very talented team, well coached, and, you know, I just give them my regards and feel sorry for them, but they've had a great year.
Ernie, thanks. I'd say enjoy this one, but I'm sure you already will.
Thank you.
Ernie Price, the head coach of Southgate Aquinas. Senior Dan Horvath hit some big buckets down the stretch. A couple of free throws that I would guess you will remember a long time as you begin to matriculate here at Michigan State University.
Yeah, those are big. I was really, you know, I've been in a slump sort of lately from the free throw line, and I was just praying that they were going to go in. Those are big free throws. We needed them to put it away and knock them down.
This was very much an up and down game. You guys got off to the quick start. They seemed to bounce back. You bounced back. They seemed to have sort of the momentum of the game, but down the stretch it looked like it was all Aquinas.
Yeah, we've been in a lot of situations. We got 6 losses. We played the competition, and that's what we're not afraid to lose. That's why we play the tough competition, and that I think it helped out towards the end, down the stretch.
Did Mayo do what you expected them to do? They really took Justin Gorman out of your offense.
Well, that's happened a lot this year. He hit his first 3 threes, and you expect him to go to box and one. We were ready for it. We anticipated all year. The whole team knows the second they go to box and one, we got set plays that we run off it, and our point guards, jumped right into it, and it bothered us at first, but then we got a couple more set plays in, and we ran it to perfection.
Look right at that camera and give us your biggest championship smile.
Way to be #1, Aquinas. Let's go, fellas.
Dan Horvath, a member of the state champion Southgate Aquinas team. Let's go back courtside to Fred McLeod.
All right, John, and the Detroit Catholic League will try to make it 2 in a row as the Porous will battle in the Class C final. You'll see that tonight at 12:30. Back to wrap up the D final in a moment. Back at the Breslin Center in between games D and C, as Southgate Aquinas has won the first title. The first of 4 here on Fox Sports Detroit. Our next telecast will be live at 4 o'clock. The Class A battle between Detroit Central and Belleville, the real Cinderella story here. Then Marshall and River Rouge, the Class B battle. And then Mason County Central tangling with the Porous in Class C. Again, that will be tape delayed, 12:30. You won't want to miss that one either on Fox Sports Detroit. So once again, our final score, Southgate Aquinas prevails over Mayo 54-45 as Ernie Price picks up his 356th career coaching victory, and one he'll cherish certainly for a lifetime. Your thoughts on this one, Tim?
I was very impressed with the caliber of play of both teams. They executed their game plans. I liked Mayo's box and one defense. I felt that Southgate Aquinas didn't handle it well at the beginning, but they made adjustments, and they showed very good balance. To be able to take your best shooter out of the game and still have enough weapons was a real nice tribute to Ernie Price and his coaching staff.
But I really think that Dan Horvath hit the nail on the head. The fact that they had been through such a meat grinder schedule against the likes of DePorres and Brother Rice and Catholic Central, big time competition, Class A, and so many close games that they were not unnerved down the stretch, and not that Mayo was, but Aquinas was able to hit those pressure free throws when they had to.
Now, and it wasn't long ago they won a state title as Class B, then they moved down to Class C. They're currently Class D, but they only played one Class D school the whole regular season. They're very balanced, they're very deep, and they certainly should be proud of their effort.
And Mayo can be equally as proud as they took the Raiders literally to the limit before finally succumbing here by 9 points. A reminder, at 4 o'clock, Belleville, a team that was 7-13 in the regular season, in the state championship game against Detroit Central. Then, of course, at 7:30, the Class B title game, followed by the replay of Class C at 12:30, all here on March Madness on Fox Sports Detroit. Hope you enjoyed the telecast. We're just getting warmed up here, though, for the Breslin Center. Stay tuned. More Final Four March Madness, college style. A Final Four special from San Antonio next here on Fox Sports Detroit. The Raiders are enjoying it, but more to come on your home of high school basketball, Fox Sports Detroit.